Hello, my name is Genaro from Mexico City.
Hi, I'm Zuzy from Austria.
Hi, I'm Angela from Texas.
And I'm Jay from Baltimore. And today we're here at the Financial UA YouTube channel to bring to you an amazing video about our tool called the Treasure Map. This tool is awesome, it's amazing, and we want to teach you all about it. So I want to invite you to come on in and grab a seat and let's get this meeting started. Before we discuss today's topic of the Treasure Map, I'd like to invite you to check out the Financial Under-Earners Anonymous website at financialua.org. You may also type in underearning.org. I would also like to invite you to consider attending any of our Financial UA meetings or workshops. You can find our full directory of meetings and workshops on the Financial UA website underneath the Welcome tab. And on our website, you may also purchase a copy of our Financial UA 12-Step Workbook, our Financial UA Traditions Workbook, as well as our Financial UA Golden Ratio Workbook. And of course, you can get a free copy of Think and Grow Rich, the first edition written by Napoleon Hill.
These are some of the items you are going to need. Some color markers,
And some large sheets of paper.
And you're going to need a table.
And a group of friends in recovery.
Alright folks, so the way we're going to do a treasure map, we're going to do a sample treasure map right here. We have our colored markers, and we have lots of different members. Members, if you all like to put your hands into view. So we have lots of different members, and we're all going to contribute to building a treasure map together. When we build this particular treasure map, we're only going to build one at a time. But when we do this in a group setting, we actually have multiple treasure maps all happening. Each member has their own treasure map, and we're building them simultaneously.
Oh, I love it. Okay, ready?
But for this video, we're just going to do the one at a time. So for this treasure map, we have a friend named Morgan. So I'm writing Morgan's name in a bubble on the left-hand side of the paper. And Morgan wants to buy a house. So we know that Morgan is over here and buying a house is over here. All we need to do is figure out how do we connect the dots. And this is often where people start to have a problem because either they don't have the experience or they don't have the knowledge, or they may not have anybody to teach them how to build the bridge to connect where they are to where they want to go. Also, sometimes in the world, it gets a little tricky because just like there's good information in the world, there's also a lot of bad information in the world. And some people will put bad information out to take advantage of Morgan. But there are also a lot of good people who have good information which would help Morgan as well. So because we're doing this in a recovery setting, we have a much better chance that everybody here has good intentions and they're channeling a loving higher power
Executive. All right.
into the process. And we all know better that we share from our experience, strength, and hope. So we don't really give opinions, but we share from first-hand experience. And we all know that experience actually works in the real world. I'm just going to pretend that I'm Morgan to start with, and I want to buy a house, but I need to figure out all the steps I need. So I know a couple of the steps, but I don't know them all. So one step I know is pick a house. So what I do is I create a bubble with a little line that connects it to me, so I know I need to pick a house, because if I want to buy a house, first I need to pick the house. And I'm pretty sure one of my action steps is to figure out how much do I want to pay to buy the house. And I think also picking my neighborhood. So I'm going to pick a neighborhood so I know where I want to live, how much I want to pay, and maybe what type of house I want. So I can pick the house. So I might pick a condominium, a regular house, a townhouse, a lavish estate, a McMansion. There's lots of different options. And if I have a general idea of how much it costs, I could put that here. But if I don't know how much it costs, that's okay too, because that's part of the process where I learn and discover along the way. And then also picking a neighborhood. And because we're in recovery, sometimes I might pick the house, pick the neighborhood, and figure out how much I want to pay. I think also I'm going to invite higher power into the process. Because if I'm in recovery and I have a connection to a higher power, maybe I want to ask my higher power to help me pick the house, to help me determine how much I can spend on it, and to help me pick the neighborhood. Because all of these things could probably help me be of better service to all of my friends and the community and everybody in the world, because I bring my recovery with me. So whatever neighborhood I live in, I'm going to bring my recovery to that neighborhood. And whatever house I choose, I'm going to fill that house with my higher power, and it's going to be full of recovery and friends and love and caring. It's just going to be a positive recovery atmosphere. And if I pick how much, but I want to invite my higher power in, I'm pretty sure my higher power wants me to purchase my house in a way that is solvent and sustainable and something that I can actually afford, because my disease probably wants me to spend too much or too little, but my higher power wants me to spend just the right amount. So it's just right. So I know these are some of the actions I would need to take to start my process, but I ran out of ideas, so I don't know what else to put. So I'm going to go over here where it says buy a house. What do I need to do? What would be the last thing I do before I actually complete the house purchase? Well, I know I'll probably sign documents and then also pay for the house and have a home inspection. But again, this is, if I'm pretending to be Morgan, this is where I ran out of ideas. So I know a couple of things to do on this side, and I know the last couple of things I do on this side, but I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to connect the dots. So this is where I stop, and I pass my treasure map over to my friend in recovery, who's going to then start filling in some ideas that he can think of. And that way I'm surrendering this, and I take myself out of the loop, and I let somebody else help to complete the process for me.
We're having fun. See, it's not just F-U-A, it's F-U-N tonight.
Because I can trust people in recovery. So, Genaro, would you like to come up with a couple of ideas about what needs to happen in order for Morgan to buy a house?
Yes, of course. I can think about making a 4 quarters. Set the intention in 6 meetings, I think.
Then we pass the treasure map to the next person so they can start coming up with some ideas. So what do you think, Suzanne?
So I'm going to add creating a vision board, because I know that I can sometimes limit myself consciously, but when I go into a creative flow, I'm able to see more clearly what it is that I really want. And I'm also going to draw a line to picking a neighborhood, because I often forget to reward myself. I will add celebrate with a housewarming party. And this celebration is also something to look forward to, and something that can help me get through the tougher parts of this process. And with that, I pass.
Next, we pass the treasure map to Angela so she can put some of her ideas.
Off the top of my head, looking, once we know how much it is, I see this as a good time to create an envelope. And when the envelope is full, it is time to hire a realtor so you can pay for the house.
So right here, we just found a way to connect the dots all the way from where Morgan is to buying the house. And it happened very organically as we're slowly building out all the different ideas and actions and possibilities. We get to a point where the bubble on this side gets really close to one of the bubbles on this side, and they connect. So this is now one of the pathways to connect Morgan to actually buying the house. But maybe there are more possibilities. Maybe there are more paths to get from where Morgan is to the treasure that she wants to discover. And so it's possible to keep passing this treasure map around and around the circle, and then eventually the whole sheet is filled up, and we may have 10 different pathways to get from the start point to the treasure. And if you have a couple of people doing this all at the same time, then everybody has their own treasure map, and we start filling it all out for each other at the same time. Maybe 4, 5, 6, or 10 people all start the process, and everybody has a treasure map with their name and what it is they want to, the treasure they're looking for. And all 10 people are helping to build the treasure map for each other. And then by the time we make a full revolution where the treasure map goes to each person for them to write something down, eventually by the time it comes back to the original person, we have a finished treasure map. And if we're doing this with multiple people, everybody will have a finished treasure map at this time once all the maps make a full rotation around the table. And then everybody wins. And that's how we get a treasure map.
Whoa!
Zuzy, would you like to share your experience?
So it's amazing that we got to make suggestions for other people's boards, and other people got to make suggestions for my board, because it's really true that we do get blocked by emotions and fears or just limitations we have. And I noticed that with other people I can write a lot more freely, and I was also very amazed to discover how many tools or tricks in FUA I learned that were applicable to that situation as well.
Awesome, Zuzy. Thank you so much. Angela, would you like to share a little bit, and what was that process like?
And I noticed as we started going around the room and sharing what our initial ideas were, I was being inspired. As we passed the treasure map around, there is just this liberation of freedom when you're writing for somebody else and there's no consequences, or there's no fear attached to it, and it just seems so easy. Like, oh, this is all they got to do.
Ideas began to come more abundantly and more frequently than that in the beginning.
Now it's time for sharing. Who'd like to take a share? In the comment section below, please feel free to share your experience, strength, and hope around the treasure map. Have you used this tool? Would you be interested in learning more about it? And if you have first-hand experience, strength, and hope that you would like to share, feel free to put that in the comment section below. Because when you take a share, other people get to learn from you. And in Financial UA, everybody's a student and everybody's a teacher. You may also ask a question or put suggestions for future videos in the comment section below.
Soy Genaro, de Ciudad de México.
Und ich bin Zuzy aus Österreich.
Angela in Texas.
And Jay from Baltimore. And we want to encourage you to keep coming back. Awesome. I've selected 2 more videos for you to check out right over here, and they'll teach you more about the Financial UA approach to combining 12-step recovery with financial prosperity. So if you're interested to learn more about the program, check out these videos.